Good morning, mindful people. It is Mindful Monday, and welcome to this 30-minute session with me, Mark Joseph. And I'm joined by all of you, and of course, my colleague Christian, who is in the background. And without him, I don't know what we'd do. So, a big shout out to Chris. Thank you so much. And I know that he's also moved house, and not easy moving house. So, myself, Chris, Rafilwe, and Grant all moved house on the same weekend, and that was last weekend. So by now we should be feeling a little bit more settled. But I am. I unpacked my last box um, yesterday. But my cat over here is not feeling very settled. She's a bit skittish. As you know, animals don't like moving, especially cats. So anyway, I'm sure she'll settle down. Yeah. I'd love a dog. I would love a dog. But you know what happens? The dog barks while I'm doing a session, and then it's just turmoil, right? So I really, because I run a lot of these classes from home, I have to make sure that a lot of noise and a lot of interruption doesn't happen. So unless the cat is fighting with another cat, they're pretty quiet. Anyway, she's all over the place today. Good morning, good morning. As we wait for more colleagues to join, let's have a moment of mindfulness. It is Mindful Monday. That is not my tail, by the way. And let's take a moment and settle ourselves, placing 2 feet firmly on the ground and just dropping that chin slightly, lowering the gaze. And let's take in a nice slow inhalation, breathing in through the nose. And then exhaling with control out the nostrils. That's it. Releasing any cortisol stress that you might be experiencing on a Monday morning. Breathing in again through the nostrils. And out the nose once again, exhaling and extend that out breath. As we extend the out breath, we calm the nervous system. Let's breathe in, last big breath, breathing in through the nose. Hold for a moment at your heart, open your mouth and sigh the breath out. All right, lovely. Good. Welcome, everyone. It's so good to see you. Happy Monday. Hi, Reshma.
Hi, Mark. So just be aware. So if our colleague numbers are low, this might be the reason. Because, I select this link all the time, and this is the error that I had, and then I struggled, and then I managed to come through.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So just a heads up. Yeah.
Christian, if you can hear, there seems to be a block which we'll have to sort out. But thank you so much for sharing that with me. That's not good. It just shows, right? Security always also had the same issue. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, we'll have to sort that out. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, Reshma. That's if you never brought that to our attention, we'd be wondering why aren't 500 people on the call? Like we had. So I see. Okay, thank you. You guys are clever. I know you're very clever. That you're here. Annalene, thank you. Yeah.
While we're on the topic, I just want to mention that some of your emails also land up in the junk folder.
Okay.
Not all of them, but some of them do.
All right.
So I don't know if they can also have a look at that.
100%.
I think a lot of them might miss it because it's lying in the junk folder and not the inbox.
I'm with you. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate it, guys. Nothing like awareness, right? Nothing like awareness. With awareness, we can solve the problem. Without awareness, there's no problem solved. How about our own awareness? What are we not aware of today with our own selves? And our self-worth. How is our self-worth going? So a big part of managing multiple demands and a big part of us feeling that things are chaotic often stems from the fact that we are worried about what other people think of us. The chaos around us is because we take on too much. We take on too much work, right? We take on too many responsibilities because we're trying to prove ourselves. We're trying to prove that we are competent. But if we feel confident and sure of who we are, then that sort of desire to prove ourselves isn't there. And actually, the first stage of burnout is the compulsion to prove oneself. There's 12 stages of burnout, okay? The first stage is the compulsion to prove oneself. The second stage is then working harder because you're trying to prove yourself. And a big part of this negative, low self-worth is that negative self-talk. The little voice inside our head that says, I'm not good at this. It's very fixed mindset stuff, isn't it? I can't do anything right. I don't deserve to be happy. I'll always fail. My life is a mess. That looks really hard. I'm not sure I can do it. You see, these are all self-limiting, self-restricting problems and things that we say to ourselves, which is very self-defeating. Because if you think about it, I don't know about you, but the biggest enemy is sitting right here. Like the biggest enemy to my happiness and my resilience, and for me to manage the day, is sitting here, right? It's not my boss, it's not my clients, it's me, because I sometimes just feel like maybe it's too much for me. Maybe I can't do it. Maybe I'm not a great facilitator. Maybe this, that, and then you start to doubt yourself. And as soon as you start to doubt yourself, that's when mistakes happen. I see it. I'm a musician. I play drums and I teach people to play drums. And as soon as they start thinking, oh, am I doing it right? They're out of rhythm. But if you let go of that thinking and you just play, you're in rhythm, right? But as soon as you start to think, oh, I don't know if I can do this, you get out of rhythm. It's a nice analogy, and it's true. But we know that we all struggle. We all struggle with that inner voice, with self-doubt, with some insecurities. You're not alone. Like everybody is going through some negative self-talk. Okay, everyone. And so the biggest antidote to this negative critic that we have, and I mean, whose voice is it? Is it an ex-lover? Often in divorce, for those that have been through a divorce like me, your self-worth can take a beating of note, and it can take years and years to recover because that person was your person, and perhaps their family are also criticizing you and so on. Maybe you had a parent who was very critical, mom, dad, an uncle, auntie. Maybe it was a teacher at school or varsity. What voice is it that is that negative self-critic that we bought into? So a big antidote is, what do you love about yourself? What do you like about yourself? All right. And me, I love to give away lunches, and I'll if anybody wants to tell me what they love about themselves, and when I say it's maybe the way you look, it's your values, it's things that you do for other people. Is there someone that just wants to be brave enough and unmute and say, what is it that they love about themselves today? And I'm going to buy you lunch. And maybe I should share my cell number with you guys, because the emails seem to be going to junk folders. So you see, everyone's too afraid to tell that this is an experiment, right? Because if I tell you, okay, Alvin took it, Alvin's got it, Alvin, come on in. We'd love to hear what you love about yourself.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, Mark. Yeah, I was giving the guys a chance, honestly. I would have been, but I was really, and then
okay,
I said, let me put up my hand, because what I've realized about myself this couple of days and the meditation that I've been doing is that, and especially to what you say, to what individuals think of you as human beings, or let me rather say as myself, I will make mistakes, and I need to admit up to my mistakes. When things go wrong or south, it's better to sit down calmly, have a conversation, and just look after yourself like you're training your body, train your mind as well. And I think that is what I've liked, or I'm starting to like in myself, is the sense of maturity that is starting to develop in me, and just how I can self-examine myself. I didn't do it, but like I said, and that is on the path that I am currently right now, and that is what I'm slowly starting to fall in love with myself. I don't wonder will I be my own Valentine's Day? I'm just joking. But just that sense of just the sense of mindfulness, and like I said, the introspection and just the self-awareness. Yeah, that is where I'm gonna leave it for now. Thanks, eh?
Thank you, Alvin. So eloquently put, so beautifully put. And you see, Alvin's made a practice out of it. He said he made a meditation out of it. And it's kind of re-talking to ourselves from a good place. And it's a practice, and it's something we have to do every day, because it's not just going to automatically happen, right? We're all on diets, Mbali. I'm also on a diet. Do you know that I've lost 6 kilograms in the last month? I went a bit crazy. Yeah, I did. Anyway, I'm not trying to kill myself, but I found a formula that works for me: fasting, exercise, and not eating so many carbs and sugar. So thank you so much, Tombi, for sending an email to Wellness. That's very, very kind of you, about the little technical problem we had with trying to log on. I know that some of you just logged on, had a little pop-up that wasn't great, and you managed to get around it. Alvin, please email me, mindfulrevolution.io, and you're more than welcome to email me, and we'll sort out your voucher. So this self-kindness story is when we start to feel better about ourselves, and we start to ramp up our self-worth, we decide the chaos automatically becomes more orderly, because we're not juggling too many balls. Okay, and you know what happens when you juggle? You drop. If you take on too many balls, guys, you're going to drop them. So today, I want to show you. I learned how to juggle, but I'm going to make a fool of myself. But I don't care. You know why? Because I'm practicing self-love, right? So if I make a mistake, please forgive me. But here we go. That's a good start, don't you think? Okay, that's enough.
I love it.
Look at that, juggling balls. And I love it, right? And you know what? I thought to myself, what happens if I make a complete idiot of myself? And I thought, who cares? We're just going to have fun. And can I bring that level? Can I bring that spirit into everything I do today? It's okay. I don't care. I'll be the idiot. I'll be the fool. It's fun, right? And that's what I thought about juggling. So you're going to see me juggle more balls. But listen, let's talk about the balls that you're juggling in terms of work. They get a bit hectic. It's a bit crazy. And please, we need to look after ourselves. We need to set those boundaries, okay? Otherwise, if we don't set boundaries, things start to sound a little bit crazy, a little bit chaotic, and all of a sudden our energy is depleted. We start to, and you can land up in hospital from burnout. It's a real thing. I landed up in hospital for burnout. So let's have a look. A circus. Is your workplace a circus? What do you think? Oh, where my funny nose. Is it a circus? If you got the Absa circus going on today, I should put my teeth in. Oh, my funny nose. I need a funny hat. Anyway, it's a circus, right? And I'm your clown today. I like a laugh, guys. You know me. I like a laugh. But let's get out of the circus. Let's get out. This is not a good type of circus. When you got too many balls juggling, you got too much in the air. You got too much. Everyone had to start somewhere. And it's so good for your brain, actually, to learn how to juggle. Let's talk about boundaries. I love this idea of a white picket fence, not the razor wire electric fence that we have in Josie, but gentle boundaries. And gentle boundaries are like, and I keep on talking about this white picket fence. And it's so funny because I moved into this house last week and I looked, and you know what? My fence is a picket fence, but it's not white, but yet it's a picket fence because I kept talking about it. How's that for manifestation? And I've got a lovely garden. You see there, my picket fence. I don't know if they'll allow me to paint it white in this complex, but it's a nice garden. I spent the afternoon watering. It was so, you know what, if you want to calm your mind and you have a garden, and this is for people that have gardens, go outside and water the garden. Okay, maybe, conserve water, obviously, but it's so relaxing. It's so beautiful. Let's have a look. Boundaries. Here are 8 points. And if you are suffering from one of these, you've got to put up a boundary. You've got to put up a gentle boundary and not a hard boundary, guys. I talk about the fence because, if a neighbor wants to jump over my fence for some reason, they can. If it's an emergency, they can. And if your boss wants to jump over your white picket fence and ask you to work late or work on weekends, they can. And sometimes we need to allow that to happen. We can't be too rigid. Okay, sometimes we have to be realistic and allow our boundaries to be traversed, but not all the time. We can't make that a habit. Gardening is so fulfilling. Gail, I'm telling you, I'm looking at my garden. I'm just thinking, what am I going to plant? And literally 2 years ago, I couldn't care about gardening. So my life has changed. So guys, let's have a look. And maybe you want to pop in the chat which ones resonate with you. Number 1, you have no time for yourself. That I can pop that in the chat. I'm definitely a 1, so I'm just going to add that. I'm a 1. You say yes when you want to say no. I am that. I'm a 2. Number 3, you feel guilty to book me time. No, not me. 4, you often feel others take advantage of you. I'm going to pop that in as a 4. 5, you feel responsible for solving other people's problems. 6, you feel depleted from overgiving. 7, you don't speak your truth. And 8, you self-sacrifice. Okay, I'm going to share with you mine. Yeah, I suck at boundaries, really. I'm talking to you about boundaries, but I'm really not that good. I'm talking to myself. Kemal, hello. You see Kemal's here. What a great session it was with Kemal, wasn't it? Did you guys see her? We're going to bring her on more and more. Definitely. Kemal, so cool to see you here.
Thanks so much.
That's cool. We're going to bring you on more and more. Sue, you're a number 5. Okay, so you feel you should solve other people's problems. Nolivuyo, number 6, depleted from overgiving. Mutle, you are 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, no judgment. There's a lot of work we need to do. Like I've got a lot of work to do too. Mbali, you're a 3 and a 5, 3 and a 6. Sorry. Pearl is 1, 2, 6, and 8. 8 being you self-sacrifice. Okay. That's the 8. Pearl's also an 8, and other Pearl. Oh, there's 2 Pearls. 1, 2, and 8. Katharina, there's quite a few there. Kemal, again, another number. Deneo, 1 and 8. Sam Kelesiwe, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 8. There's quite a bit there. Gail, thank you for yours. Bianca, not too bad. Nompumelelo, not too bad. All of them. Yeah, Galen. You see, I think if we're bad with boundaries, maybe we need to look at our self-worth, guys. Maybe we need to follow Alvin's example and start to, rewire it, hey? Thanks, everyone. Okay, I'm seeing there's a lot in the chat. I'm not going to reflect on it all because we only have a few minutes left. But thank you for doing that exercise with me. Let us do a mindful moment. Now, maybe Alvin's doing something like this. I don't know, but this is what I do to try and up my boundaries and my self-worth. Let's do it together. Right hand on your heart. Breathe. I am worthy and deserving of setting and maintaining boundaries that serve me. Each and every day, I'm becoming clearer about the boundaries that serve me best. It's easy for me to share my boundaries with others. I am ready to choose beautiful boundaries that help me live, create, and serve as the fullest expression of my incredible self. So maybe you want to take a screenshot there, but affirmations that rewire your mind to feel that it's okay. And if they're disappointed and it's hard, it's okay. It's not going to be easy. This quote for me says it all, guys. Isn't it beautiful? Boundaries are the distance of which I can love you and me simultaneously. How nice is that? And maybe you want to tell the person that you're setting a boundary with, this is it. I love this quote. All the hearts. I just love your hearts too. I really do. Janine, saying no, I don't care what people think. Yeah, I get the feeling I'm seen as negative one in a meeting. You see, that's a balance. How do we make it so that that people don't feel offended or threatened by our boundaries? So anyway, this is one of them. Another form, I mean, how do you set boundaries? I used to be the boss in an advertising business, and my staff all used to wear headphones. But then I realized no one was listening to anything. They just didn't want me to talk to them. So, you know, it's like, sorry, what was that? Like it was almost like glue. It was almost like it was stuck to their ear because it was so hard for them to remove that. My son started doing it as well with me. So I don't know. I guess that's my karma. Anyway, this is one way you can set a boundary if you're in the office and you're looking for a disconnect. Definitely. What else can you do? Here's some examples. Number one, be clear and direct about your limits. And don't forget kindness too. Mbali, yeah, oh really? Okay. You see, it's coming out. It's coming out. It's coming out. Use simple and unambiguous language. I'm not able to take an extra project until maybe a date is completed or a task. Then I can respond to emails during my core hours of 9 to 4, but I usually step away from work after 5:30 p.m. Thank you very much. Last one, I'm happy to help, but I'll need to push other tasks to next week then. You see? So it's almost like an education. We are educating people that are asking us for the stretch, right? Number two, use time-based boundaries. Make time explicit rather than leaving it open-ended. This is very important. Hey, I've got 25 minutes for this discussion right now. Is that going to work? You see, I'm very good at this. Like people try and set 2-hour meetings with me. I'm like, ooh, I've got an hour, but I don't have 2. I can review this document tomorrow morning between 9 and 10. And the last one here, I'm blocking focus time on my calendar from 1 to 3 every day so I can finish some deep work. I mean, come on, no one can argue with this. And if they do, they're a fool, okay? People really respect calendar blocks, okay? More than verbal statements. Block that diary so you can get some work done. Mute that Teams if you must. Absolutely. Tommy, yeah, it's almost like an internal validation of some kind of guilt. Yeah, exactly. Yes, it is. Okay, let's have a look at number 3. Create response time expectations. Set a rhythm that others can expect from you. Like I usually batch check messages at 11 and 4. So I might not see your messages right away. Batch checking, by the way, is extremely productive because we're checking our emails 90 times a day. It's too much. According to production science, productivity science, we're only supposed to check our emails 4 times a day, and now you're laughing at me, yeah. But I know some of us have jobs where we have to check regularly. But anyway, if something is truly urgent, please call me or mark the email urgent in my subject line. Okay, nice boundary. I'll get back to you by the end of the day tomorrow on this. Guys, I hope none of you are going to lose your jobs over these boundaries. The full part, yeah, is mutual respect. Yeah, you must get double, triple booked. No mutual respect. No, you got to fight for your boundaries. Okay, number 4, say no with a positive redirect. The positive no. I like that. Thank you for thinking of me. I can't take that on right now, but maybe that person would be great for this. And now we're passing the buck. I'd love to help in the future, but my plate is full through the end of Q1. Or here they say Q2, but maybe we can say Q1. That's outside my current priorities, but I'm happy to connect you with someone who handles that area. Okay? The danger is taking on work that you are not meant to do or you are not skilled in. That is also no good, guys. 5, protect after hours and weekend communication. Please don't respond at all outside work hours. You could say that, but as I said, maybe you have to. That's why there's a picket fence. Set an auto reply, which I do. I'm currently offline and I will respond during business hours. You know that you can do this on WhatsApp. There's the business part of WhatsApp. You can set an auto response as well, and you can choose to whom. So it doesn't go to everyone. It's very clever, actually. I use it well. Reply with, I saw your message, I'll handle this tomorrow, or use do not disturb or focus modes, and let them through, especially if there's an emergency, then they can step over those boundaries, as I said. Number 6, use I statements. Seem to be very effective, and I've done the research on this, guys. I have also applied it. I work best when I can focus without interruptions for blocks of time. I find I'm most effective when I don't check email after 6 p.m. I need to protect some quiet time in the morning to plan my day. Okay? So there's internal boundaries. Now, this is really interesting. Here, I am painting my white picket fence, okay? This is doing the work. This is doing the work on myself. This is Dr. Ellen Langer. She is a Harvard professor. She's been teaching mindfulness she's been lecturing on mindfulness and lots of experiments on mindfulness for the last 32 years. She has come to the number of 47%. She says 47% of distractions are internal. Okay? So every time you get distracted, that is adding more stress to your plate. 47% of those distractions is you looking at your phone, you checking social media, you are bored, you do something else. Okay? So basically, at the end of the day, according to the University of California, 2 hours out of a 9-hour working day, on average, we are in distraction or recovering from distraction or something that we're not wanting to do. Okay? That's a lot. 2 hours. 2 hours. So let's come back to Alvin. Alvin's celebrating himself. He's celebrating his wins, and he won a lunch. Thank goodness for Alvin. When you celebrate yourself, and I like to journal, I like to write stuff down, and I've got a journal, and I put it on my phone. Sometimes I write it in a book, and I write things about myself that I did well in my day. I celebrate my wins, okay? I celebrate my wins. So what wins can you celebrate today? Okay? And when I celebrate my wins, what happens is I get a burst of dopamine in my brain. And dopamine is a feel-good chemical. And it's not only a feel-good chemical, but it is a motivator to get stuff done. Okay? It's going to help you to stop procrastinating and navigate the chaos and help you to manage multiple demands. Okay? So what wins can you celebrate today? Write it down, make a note, and at the end of the day, write it down, guys, and try and do that every day. Have a special little thing on your desk that you can write down. What wins did I celebrate today? Have it somewhere that you can see it, okay? Otherwise, it's not going to happen, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our session. There is a survey that we're asking you, please, can you have a look? Please, can you fill out? There is a link, and I'm going to pop that link. It really does help us. And if you don't mind, you can. It's really not that long. Please don't do it now, because as I say goodbye, I don't want you to be tapping away and all of that. Thank you so much, Kemal. Thank you, everyone, for attending this session. and good luck with the chaos, and good luck with the circus, right? The circus is in town, right? I'm so into this juggling. I can't tell you. It's so much fun. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you. Juggle those things, but do them well. Don't let it burn you out, and don't drop balls. You know what happens when we drop balls is we feel terrible, and then other people are going to pick up those balls, right? Yeah, Gilda, Sylvia, thank you, Isabella, Tabitha, Raymond. Raymond, my email is in the chat. You're more than welcome to just go back and have a look. It's marketmindfulrevolution.io. I did put it in there earlier for Alvin, so just kind of skim back, and you're more than welcome to contact me. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a beautiful day. And I've got another session at 12 at midday, so maybe we'll see you guys there. Yeah. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Lovely.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.